The restaurant light shimmered in soft amber, reflecting off the untouched glass of water in front of Claire as she stared at the empty chair across from her. It had been 20 minutes. 20 long minutes since she'd arrived for the first blind date she'd dared to agree to in almost 3 years. Her stomach twisted painfully, not from hunger, but from that familiar fear that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't someone worth showing up for anymore. Her fingers trembled slightly as she smoothed her navy blue dress, trying to shake off the self-doubt. But the truth was sharp, the blind date was empty, and so was the last fragile piece of hope she'd carried into the evening. Just when she was about to gather her purse and slip quietly out the door, 2 small shadows appeared beside her table, and she looked down to see twin girls, no older than 5, with matching curls and identical worried eyes. One of them tugged gently at her sleeve and whispered that their daddy was sorry he was late. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and unexpected miracles, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. Claire blinked, caught completely off guard as the girls climbed onto the empty seat and stared at her with a mix of innocence and confidence only children possess. Their tiny backpacks, decorated with cartoon stars, thudded softly against the booth. One of them, Ava, according to her stitched name patch, placed a small folded note on the table and pushed it toward Claire. The other, Grace, gave a hopeful smile, as if she already knew Claire would understand. Claire opened the note and saw a rushed message scribbled in uneven handwriting explaining that their father, Noah, was stuck in heavy traffic from work but would arrive in a few minutes. Something about the note felt unusually sincere, almost vulnerable, as though he'd written it with one hand while trying to comfort the girls with the other. Still, Claire had to breathe slowly through the swirl of emotions inside her: confusion, hesitation, curiosity, and an unexpected tug of compassion. The girls began talking almost immediately, filling the space with chatter as if they'd known Claire forever. They talked about their favorite cartoons, their school projects, their puppy who chewed everything including Ava's socks. Despite her unease, Claire felt the tightness in her chest loosen just a little. The twins' presence softened the otherwise painful realization that she had been stood up, yet something also told her she hadn't been. Not fully. Not yet. As they spoke, Claire found herself smiling for the first time that day, even laughing softly when Grace proudly showed her a sticker collection tucked into her notebook. There was a warmth in the moment, one she hadn't expected, and though she wasn't sure what to make of it, she couldn't deny how it lifted her spirits. 10 more minutes passed before the restaurant door flew open and a tall man with dark hair and tired but kind eyes rushed inside, searching frantically. His posture held the unmistakable weariness of someone carrying more than the weight of a long day. When his gaze finally landed on the twins sitting comfortably with Claire, who sat frozen, not knowing whether to wave or disappear, his shoulders dropped with immense relief. Noah approached slowly, almost shyly, carrying an apology that seemed too heavy for words. His breath was uneven, as though he'd run straight from his car. He explained that he hadn't meant to be late. He'd been held up at the clinic where he worked as a physical therapist, helping a patient who'd taken a rough fall. The apology was sincere, almost painfully so, and Claire saw in his eyes that he hated the idea of her waiting alone. The date, which had begun as a disaster, gradually grew into something tenderly unexpected. Noah spoke with quiet honesty, sharing how becoming a single father to the twins after losing their mother when they were toddlers had changed every plan he once had. How he struggled to balance work, parenting, grief, and the fear of disappointing anyone new who walked into his life. Claire listened, her heart softening with each word, each quiet confession. She recognized that feeling far too well, the fear of not being enough. She had lost someone too, in a different way, when her engagement ended abruptly 2 years earlier. Since then, she'd built emotional walls so tall she wasn't sure anyone would climb them. Yet here she was, sitting with a man who seemed to be carrying his own invisible bruises. As they talked, the atmosphere shifted. The tension melted with the gentle clinking of dishes around them and the giggles of the twins who kept interrupting with stories or questions. Noah cracked a shy smile each time, apologizing, but Claire found their presence comforting rather than disruptive. In a strange, beautiful way, they made the moment feel more real, less pressured, less like two strangers trying to impress one another. There was a warmth to the scene, like a family photo being quietly drawn without anyone acknowledging it. Dinner continued with a soft ease, as if the earlier awkwardness had never existed. Claire watched the way Noah helped the girls cut their food, how he listened to their stories with patient eyes, and how he never once appeared frustrated despite his long day. She found herself admiring him, surprised by the flutter in her chest each time he looked at her with shy gratitude. The twins adored him completely, and Claire felt a gentle ache in her heart seeing that kind of love. She wondered if she deserved to sit at a table like this, one full of laughter and small hands reaching for crayons. Still, beneath the warmth, Claire battled her usual doubts. She questioned whether she was ready for something as complicated as a single father with 2 children. She told herself she'd only come for a simple blind date, not to meet someone's family. She tried to remind herself that she wasn't built for fragile attachments anymore, that she'd promised herself never to get hurt again. But her attempts to guard her heart weakened with each passing moment, each shared detail, each soft smile. After dinner, the girls insisted on showing Claire the wishing fountain outside the restaurant. The night air in Colorado Springs carried a crisp chill as the streetlights glowed against the fading blue sky. The girls tossed pennies into the fountain and whispered their wishes with dramatic secrecy. When Claire asked what they'd wished for, Ava replied with a mischievous grin that she wished Daddy wouldn't be lonely anymore. Grace nodded so eagerly her curls bounced. Noah flushed, mortified, but the girl's innocence made Claire laugh, a sound she hadn't heard from herself in far too long. Something about the moment felt surreal. As Noah stood beside her, the golden reflection of the fountain lights danced across his face, softening the tired lines near his eyes. He thanked her quietly for not leaving, for being so kind to the girls, for giving the night a chance despite everything. His voice carried vulnerability, the kind that spoke of a man who didn't often ask for understanding. Claire felt the sincerity tug at her heart because she knew what it meant to be left behind, to lose hope, to crave a moment of grace. The night ended with a polite but warm exchange of numbers, a hopeful smile from Noah, and 2 excited waves from Ava and Grace. Claire went home unsure of what the future held, but for the first time in years, she felt something growing inside her, not fear, not hesitation, but possibility. A soft possibility that perhaps life wasn't done surprising her. Perhaps kindness still mattered. Perhaps second chances were real. Over the next few weeks, messages turned into calls, and calls turned into meetings at the park, where Claire found herself helping the twins with their mini art projects or cheering them on as they raced across the playground. Noah opened up slowly, sharing parts of himself that he'd locked away. Claire did the same, allowing her walls to lower, brick by careful brick. She realized that love didn't always arrive neatly wrapped or perfectly timed. Sometimes it appeared in the form of twin girls with hopeful eyes and a tired father trying his best. And on a quiet Sunday afternoon, months later, as they all sat together on a picnic blanket by the lake, Ava crawled into Claire's lap and said she wished Claire could stay forever because she made Daddy smile again. Noah met Claire's eyes with that same shy gratitude she'd seen on the first night, except now it held something deeper, something certain. Something Claire dared to believe in. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps spread warmth and kindness to more people who need it. Before you go, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if 2 little girls sat at your table that night? And with that, Claire's journey, once marked by fears and doubts, turned into a beautiful reminder that sometimes, the most unexpected beginnings lead to the most meaningful chapters.